What's up, yappers? Welcome to another episode of Yapping Hours. Rainbow, Terrellion, Crimsonite. I hope I pointed the right direction. We're gonna be talking about something that's, even though it should have ended, is still kind of going, which is the Ludwig Mango drama. Which I hate fucking saying drama all the fucking time. Like this event is a drama. This is like motherfucker. What is this? A K-pop? Anyway. So what it comes down to, for those who don't know, and I'll try to keep it brief. Ludwig, popular streamer, hosts an event called Mario Kart. Essentially, like they're playing a Mario Kart tournament, but beer's involved. You're encouraged to drink, essentially, right? And obviously, he doesn't do it with regular niggas. He does it with other popular streamers. And one of the people in this whole drama is Mango. Smash Melee player, the greatest of all time, even though we all hate Melee, but whatever. So then he gets drunk because he's known for being a drunk, right? Even though he's 33 with a wife and a child, his whole career, ever since he's played, is, hey, I'm a drunk. And I'm an Eagles fan, right? So he gets drunk, and while he's getting drunk, he drinks more and more. And at one point, Ludwig, he has the little BAC thing, but I forget what it's called. Has the breathalyzer, so like sometimes people will blow into it and be like, what's my alcohol level? Oh, it's blank, blank, blank. So as the night went on, he would celebrate and say, hey, Mango got 0.28 or 0.23, everybody cheered. And I was like, yeah, Mango, get more drunk, right? And then he started, what it mostly came down to, he was like humping two different chicks. I forget their names. It escapes me.
Extra Emily and Maya.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. That's the crib for remembering.
It's out the crib, yeah.
I feel like that's kind of important, but okay.
Yeah. They're women.
Sure. Fair enough.
So, after that whole thing ensues, he gets dropped by Cloud9, which has been his esports team for forever. He gets banned on Twitch, which it's not really clear on how long it is, but I'm going to assume it's either 2 weeks to a month, I want to say. Could be wrong.
Well, so not to cut you off here, but does a Twitch ban even matter? Because Twitch is fucking
for a big streamer,
yeah, and then they're just gonna like unban you anyways. And,
like, Twitch ain't shit. CEO, you're a gooner, like we all know. Yeah. So he's taken this time to spend time with his wife and kid, even though he shouldn't have done that, but whatever. And he made a statement essentially apologizing and saying, I'm gonna move on, right? Here's where it gets interesting, because while everyone else technically moved on, everyone was like, wait a minute, Ludwig, this is your event, you enabled him in those clips, what do you gotta say? So essentially what his response was, it ain't my fault, nigga. It ain't my fault. Y'all can make the videos, I'm cool with it. Y'all can have whatever opinion you have, cool with it. Not my problem. I'm gonna let you know that's not my problem. And even though Mango told me like, hey, everything's all good and we talked about each other, not my problem. You niggas wanna keep talking about it? Hey, whatever, nigga.
Well, so I do recall Ludwig mentioning that he had opinions, and Mango and him discussed it, and they were basically like, just kind of drop it. I don't want to like escalate the problem or escalate the drama. Just kind of let it die.
But I'm not gonna talk about it.
Well, Ludwig didn't even really bring up the points that he did want to bring up. He said he's just gonna keep it to himself. Remember? I'm pretty sure that's what he said in the video. But were you done? I don't know if you said more.
Well, I mean, I would just essentially say like the whole like the reason I keep saying talk about it is like you're accountable. Right, whether it's like they're an adult or whatever, you're accountable because in those clips you did like encourage it. Just say, hey, I'm sorry, shouldn't have done that. We were all drunk. Whatever your PR statement would be, and then be like, do better. All right, so let's play Mario Kart. Something to like move forward, and then people will be like, cool, or most people at least will be like, cool. Continue.
Right, I get that, and I know I'm gonna get a ton of hate for this, per usual. But I think I want to say the reason Ludwig didn't really give a shit about this is because you have to take into consideration the environment, and even the event itself that's taking place. This is an event about drinking, and you have a guy there that's a known alcoholic, and he's drunk as shit and he's humping stuff. So Ludwig's probably thinking like, why do I need to apologize for this? Like, this is something that I guess everybody agreed upon. Obviously, I'm assuming they agreed upon it. Yeah. To go there and do this event. So, and they're all streamers and they're all content creators. So I don't really look at, I'm assuming from his perspective, he's kind of thinking like, this wasn't really a loss. Because if anything, content came out of this. So it's like, who gives a shit?
Look, as much as we're content creators, I've said it before, I hate that shit.
You like, always say that shit.
Let's spin it as an angle for content. Even though, like, I'm a content creator, yada, 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 we've talked about this before. I would agree with you. I would say, hey, you know, if it was you or me, you know, whatever, who gives a shit? We all consented, whatever. Here's the issue. He's a big content creator. So it's like, you kind of have to be like, as much as I would love to say who gives a shit, I can't really say who gives a shit on camera.
Yeah.
Because, like, if he was, like, as small as us or, like, mid-sized, you could probably get away with being like, hey, we're consenting, it was cool, it was whatever. But because you're such a big streamer, and the way content creation is right now especially, you want to be in people's good graces to have them watch you and shit.
But so, and I get that. But I think Ludwig was kind of flexing his power a bit and trying to say like, you know what? I don't actually give a fuck. You know, like, I'm rich, I'm a millionaire. I don't give a fuck. I genuinely don't give a fuck. And I think that's what he was trying to do. I think he was trying to flex his power a bit. And I, honest to God, respect him for it. Because the truth is, a lot of people, a lot of content creators would do exactly what you were saying, the PR play, where they just, you know, say, I apologize, I'm so sorry, you know, lift up their cat, kiss it a couple times, oh my God, you know, this was such a horrible thing. And then they move on back. I'm not saying that that's what you would do, but have you ever you've seen those apology videos where people always
I was just saying because you
say right.
You're just like kissing your cat, so I was like, oh, I'm not a big content creator.
I'm aware, and it's not about you, Rainbow. It's not always about you. Anyway, I respect him heavily for not taking that generic pussy PR play and actually just saying, fuck you guys. Like, dude, this is the whole point of the event, was to get drunk. You know, like, what do you expect is gonna happen when you got a bunch of drunk people in a fucking room playing games and having a good time? Like, I don't know. I didn't see the issue with the whole thing. Like, especially like we said, it's a bunch of consenting adults in that room getting drunk, playing games, and you have an alcoholic. Like, y'all should already know who's gonna be at this event, and you got an alcoholic there. Like, how are we gonna get mad that an alcoholic did what an alcoholic's gonna do? You know what I mean? I don't know. I just, this is stupid.
You should use that 11 for the unemployed now. Alright, Crim, well, we talked a lot. What do you gotta say besides how you hate Mango and hate Melee?
Real quick, I also hate Mango too. I also really dislike Mango. For anybody who thinks I'm trying to sit here and defend Mango, I do not like Mango, by the way. Yeah, and I'll explain why really quickly. The reason I don't like Mango is because there was a Smash.
Right.
There was like a Smash 4 or Smash Ultimate event that took place. It was Smash 4. And like, they got all these Smash Melee players and Smash Pro players across all the different games, and even Zero was there. And they played Smash early, and Sakurai came out to talk to them and interview them, essentially, and like ask them what they thought about the game and blah, 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 blah. And Mango didn't even know who the fuck Sakurai was. He didn't know who the hell he was speaking to. And all Mango kept saying was just like, Melee sick. Melee sick. Like, anytime like a question was asked, he was like, Melee sick. And then at the end of that, Mango was like, who was that guy we were talking to? They're just like, bro, that's Sakurai. Like, that's the dude who made Smash Bros. And they're just like, oh.
That's the dude who gave me the career.
That's the dude who literally allowed you to never work a day in your life, which is, by the way, I don't know if anybody knows that. Mango's never had a job in his life. He's been living off. I don't know if it's changed, but I remember hearing that a couple of years ago. He's never worked a day in his life, and it's because of Smash Brothers Melee. He got so successful with that, and he was able to
some people don't
turn it into
money.
his career.
Call me a hater. Some niggas don't deserve money.
So,
I don't give a
yeah,
fuck.
so for anybody thinking I'm a mango dick rider for what I just said earlier, no, I don't like mango at all, and I also don't give a shit. I don't like mango at all, and I also don't give a shit about
Ludwig.
Yeah, Ludwig, and this whole event. It was like consenting in my eyes, like it's a big drunk event. Who cares? Anyways, Grim, go ahead, take the floor.
I was just I actually have like mixed like thoughts about it. Like again, Terrell was right. It's consenting adults, alcohol, and all that stuff. But at the same time, like Rainbow mentioning that he was the enabler, you got to take some accountability for that. Because for those of you who don't know, I'm the only one amongst these three who actually drinks. So you got to know, one, your limits. I do like drinking, but I never, well, not never. In rare cases, I'll get like severely drunk, but most of the time I'll just get like tipsy and then I'll stop right there. So that way, I still have my consciousness there. I feel like that's something people need to practice. Just know your limits, know when to call it. I understand it was an alcoholic event, but like still like pulling out a breathalyzer. Oh, because you're considered drunk once you have a blood level of 0.08. So when Rainbow mentioned something 0.2, and I was like, bro, and you're gonna have him keep going. Two, you gotta draw the line when you're sexually harassing women. And like even when drunkies, when I go out all the time and you see that, it's a pretty common thing, like guys trying to like sexually harass women. A lot of guys will stand up, and for them, you're like, yo, that's not okay. You can get away from these women. You gotta stop and stuff like that. But like, nobody did that in that clip until like the very end. But like other than that, it's like I think it was a problem because people see it as if they were allowing that to happen when clearly those two girls were uncomfortable. Yeah, that's basically all I have to say. It's just like. Just mixed reactions. There's problems with everybody. But at the end, Ludwig. The only problem is that he was the enabler. That was it. If he was like convincing him to keep drinking for content, that is an issue on its own.
But your friend's in danger for the content.
Yeah. So, but like if like literally if he wasn't enabling, I wouldn't have any problem with him. As you said, he can just be like, oh, it's my event. All I did was host it. That's it. But if you're like actively enabling him to get more drunk, you're not trying to stop him from, making these women uncomfortable, then that's a problem on its own. Because if you can stand up and like take care of the situations in places where you can, and you choose not to, then yeah.
We were raised correctly.
Blue pill Crim coming out. I wasn't expecting that response.
Oh.
Well,
is he? But I think I heard earlier that he's like trying to practice now on like with his alcohol consumption.
Yeah, he's starting to try to go straight now, which
coward.
Okay, now you're
like...
you're the enabler. Now you're the enabler.
That's not enabling. No, all I'm saying is like. You can't. You did one bad experience. You don't have to stop drinking entirely.
He's been drinking since he was like a teenager.
Oh yeah, he should be dead.
He's an alcoholic.
Okay, but like still like I've drank severely a lot.
No, off camera we talked about that nigga on ad nauseum whenever we bring up the Smash community. At some point we talk about him being like he's an alcoholic.
We don't really talk about him like that. I don't.
We talked about him before.
We've talked about him, but we didn't talk about like the whole alcohol.
We don't talk about the alcohol shit at all. We just talk about Melee.
About Melee, right? It was in the confines of Melee, but we've talked about Mango before a few times. That's what I'm like.
And we've spoken about Mango, but we've never spoken about him being an alcoholic. Like I don't think I ever. Yeah. I didn't know he was an alcoholic until this event.
Yeah. But like, is it like, I had one bad experience. Time to give up alcohol. Like, coward.
Yeah, no,
he's definitely had multiple bad experiences. Yeah, for sure. Like, no doubt. But I mean, I get where you're coming from.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, just control it. Literally, all you gotta do is know your limits. That's it. Just know your limits. I mean, it's better to stop drinking entirely because your liver is probably like.
Yeah, your liver will thank you.
Yeah, like its hand is out of the coffin and shit. Like, ow, man. But like, Yeah, but me is like, I don't know. I just feel like I'm not an alcoholic. I do drink, but I'm not an alcoholic. But what is it? Just know your limits.
It's hard to
all.
go cold turkey. I'll say that. So
Yeah.
if he continues that trend, hey, I ain't got nothing to say besides you're a bitch ass nigga for not knowing who Sakura
And
was.
yeah, that's another thing. If he is a severe alcoholic, like, as you guys are saying, if he does go cold turkey, someone's got to keep an eye out on him. So
But that's what his wife and kids are for. So hopefully they step in.
Yeah. Mm.
Oh, well,
That
I don't know.
that might be a video in and of itself. A couple months down the line, who knows? Anyway, any thoughts from y'all?
yeah, we just gave the whole
No,
episode.
but like any like finishing things
Oh, okay.
you want to say, like
I mean, just to conclude real quick, like I said, I'm not a Mango Dick Rider or a Ludwig Dick Rider. I don't even watch these guys at all. And
Yeah.
like I said, I respect Ludwig for just kind of being like, I don't give a fuck. You know, I'm rich. Who cares? Fuck giving you guys that. Yeah, fuck the whole good response and, you know, being nice to everybody, kissing the cat. So I'm so sorry this happened. It'll never happen again in my next. Now fuck all that shit, man. Just he knew what was up. He knew what the event was about. It's a drunk event. There's going to be crazy stuff happening for content. It is.
Yeah,
what
you know how crazy Rich he is? You could tell when someone's crazy rich when they have a subathon and give like almost half of the money to his moderators. that's how you know. That's how you fucking know.
Yeah. That's all I gotta say.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Next episode, we will be playing Burial Kart ourselves. I'm gonna get these guys drinking. They have their Switch 2 on deck, and we're gonna show you how to properly play Burial Kart.
Not consenting, by the way. Not consenting. I'm not drinking shit besides apple juice.
Pussy.